Hello, hello. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Yeah, sorry for the extra long starting soon screen today. I was just posting on Twitter and Threads about my new whole live streaming thing. And took a shower before that, and I'm still like a little, I don't know, it's just very warm in my apartment. So I'm already feeling the humidity again after I've gone out, so that's why I'm a little red and sweaty and stuff. But anyways, how are you all doing? I see someone's watching on Twitch. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you'd like. It's always nice to get to talk with y'all if you feel up to it, but no pressure if you prefer lurking. Yeah, sorry again, I'm a little late today, about 15 minutes late. We're actually starting to stream now, so yeah, I'll still probably wrap up around 6:30, maybe a little bit after. So apologies for that. Ooh, one thing I want to do actually before going live on Instagram is I want to hold on, wanna make a button. This is what I use to stream with. I'm going to make a button to, let me see, text. Going to say, this is what I want to put in all my Instagram live streams, live on Twitch and YouTube. Link in bio. Maybe a smiley face at the end. The Instagram message is the tail of the button. Cool. Sorry, that's something I've wanted to do for a while because I manually type it in each time. It'd be nice to have a button for that. I'll just leave it like this. Cool. And yeah, let me open up Freeform and we can jump into talking about yesterday. Where is it? Oh, it's right at the bottom. Of course, duh. And yeah, we'll go live on Instagram, so we're all good on all three platforms. And yeah, we should be live on all three. Cool. So yeah, thank you all again for joining. I'll jump right into it. I'll start by making a new board for today. I'll turn down the music a little bit more. So this will be the 7th stream, 7th board. Stream board. August 19th, 2024. Cool. So where do we leave off last stream? Let's start by recapping last stream. I had a project idea to make my stream schedule and processing. I still gotta actually post on my schedule online, so that's what I was just doing on Twitter and stuff. But yeah, let me see. Then I was originally gonna do it in InDesign, but how perfect would it be if we made it in processing? So I'm going to copy and paste this all for today. Zoom out a bit. So agenda for today's stream, August 19th. I'm just gonna copy and paste this over. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. But yeah, what we did last week, or not last week, yesterday, was we recapped the last stream, followed along the drawing with code and shapes tutorial from the coding trains learn processing tutorial, and we made agenda for today. That was about it, and honestly, it was shorter than I wanted for a Sunday, but still very productive nonetheless. So let me see here. Sorry, I was just checking in on Instagram, making sure it was actually working. Forgot to open up my YouTube stream stuff. Cool. I think we're good. But yeah, what are we doing today? Oh yeah, so today we want to review what we completed last time, which is what I'm doing right now, and begin processing reference in Learn P5, not P5.js, and Learn processing. Then we'll end by making an agenda for tomorrow. Cool. Let me see here. Haven't done any of this yet. I'll leave that here. Yeah, delete that just because that was yesterday's idea. And yeah, I'll open up that coding train guide in Safari right here. Yes, I use Safari. I do prefer it over Chrome, but I use Chrome for a few other things. I'm going to delete that since that was really relevant from last time. And yeah, we'll just jump into drawing shapes. Oh, and sorry, we did the shapes tutorial yesterday, but we're going to use the reference tutorial today. So I have a strong feeling that we're going to need this page today, right here with all the processing references to copy and paste from and put into your code. Cool. So unless we have notes for today, I'm going to, which I'm sure we will, I'm going to minimize that for now and jump into where we left off.
Learning.
Which was at drawing with code. We did shapes. Now we're in the processing reference.
How about point?
Cool. Oh, and I should also open up processing while we're at it, just to have it on the screen. Gotta remember to project myself a little better into the microphone when I stream. That's all right. All right. Let's open this up.
And then I want the center, which is 320, 180. Let's run that again. Do you see it? Let's look in there. There's that point. I have now drawn a single point at the center of the window at pixel X 320, pixel Y 180. Guess what? What if I wanted to draw a line instead of a point? Well, I could draw a line with the command line. What do I need to draw a line? Let's think about it. I need another point. So maybe I need to draw a line.
I'm just checking up on
I need to have two.
Instagram. I'm streaming on my phone. Realize I've done that before. So yeah, I'll just let this play as a little recap, and we'll skip to the new section just a second.
Pairs of x, y. x1, y1, x2, y2.
Not sure if the stream is actually up right now. Oh, it is.
y1,
oh, yeah,
x2, y2.
It's working. The stream's up. Cool. Just making sure.
That's the syntax for drawing a line. Now,
anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, we're basically at the processing reference
that point
section.
on the
If I skip
whiteboard.
ahead,
Let's just
we'll
estimate
already be past
something
it.
interesting, like
Maybe I can
520.
use the command keys. There we go.
Y is the designer, or if you're anyone really. But before I get to that, let's just sit here for a moment and think about how we've now learned the commands. There are a lot more of these. For example, if you want to draw a square, there is the command square. There is the command circle. There's a command for rectangle, for ellipse, for triangle. Oh, we can make custom shapes like different kinds of polygons. I will be covering more of these, and I'm constantly going to go back and look at different shapes. And I should probably talk about arc at some point, which is a way of drawing part of a circle. But the thing is, right, you're here learning to code. And I hope you're enjoying this and learning something, and maybe I'm doing a halfway decent job of making this video. But the real skill, the real thing that you need to practice is not listening to somebody else tell you how to do it.
Oh yeah, this part I
kind of
completely
trial
agreed
and
with from last
erroring your
time.
way through it. And
Sorry, I should have paused that. This part I completely agreed with from last time, that trial and error is always so important for these kinds of things.
The documentation which covers all the ins and outs of all of these functions, because there are a lot of them. And coding is not about memorizing them or just knowing how to do it. It's about figuring out how to look things up and trying it yourself. So let's look at that.
There we go. Now we're up to date.
One wonderful thing about processing is I can highlight any name of a function, right click or control click, and go to find in reference.
Oh.
It's going to take me.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Here, line, parentheses, parentheses. If I right click, find in reference. Yeah, would you look at that? Popped up on my second screen, but I'll paste it here. Cool. That's awesome. I had no idea it did that. That's kind of like a feature I used all the time on MaxMSP to figure out what I was doing, what I was working on. So that's awesome to know and see.
Directly to the reference page on the processing website that explains this code. There's a wonderful paragraph description. There are several examples that show the function being used. And here you see the syntax described. What is the name of the function line? And
Sorry, I forgot to put the link to this in chat, so I'll do that now. If you're watching the stream, please go check it out on your own. Give the website, the video your support. Maybe like the video, whatever you got to do. And yeah, I'm sure they would appreciate that.
what are the expected arguments? Now, functions of the same name, like line, can take variable amounts of arguments, and this is something that we'll see. Right now, we're not drawing with a 3D renderer, but a line can be drawn in a 3D space, in which case it needs an X, a Y, and a Z. Something I'll come back to in some other videos some other time. But both of those are covered here. Once you see that syntax, it's important to look under the parameters. Again, parameters being another word for arguments. X1 being the X coordinate of the first point. And importantly there, notice that word float that's in parentheses. That might be a very strange word to you. It's actually something that's going to become quite important a little bit down the line. I don't want to get into all the details about what a float is right now, but that is a term for number. I'll also point out that functions can have a return type. We'll be coming back to that later. And then this is nice to see like related functions that I'm not using right now, but for example, stroke weight is a function that allows you to vary the width of the line. Is it a thicker line or a thinner line? And you could look into that yourself. Let's click back to the reference homepage. And we can now see this is all of the functions that are available in processing. See what I mean? There's a lot. Oh, look. Size is right down there. There's one we know. I could look for one by typing into the filter, but right now what we are covering are shapes. So I'm going to go here under shape and specifically 2D primitives. There are lots of different ways to draw in processing, but if you're just...
Yeah, I actually start my notes there. So open back up Freeform, move it to the side here. Good enough. I know on Mac I can snap things to either side of the screen, but I want a little more flexibility than that. So anyways, notes from the processing reference. I might add the names of any other tutorials we get into today. That's some bullet points. Then what was it called? 2D primitives. I'll say reference. Oops. Let's forget to click back to Freeform. References for shapes. 2D primitive. Primitives. And then what was it for what was it called? Function calls. Can click on any word, just function. I'll say function. In processing. Oh, right click, not left click. Just forget to play the music during these parts. Can right click on any function in processing. click on, what was it? Find reference? Find in reference. To the linked to reference on the function on processing's website. Yeah, that I cannot tell you how amazing that is to know. I use that all the time, all the time in MaxMSP. So that's really great to know they have something similar here.
I recommend that you start only with these 2D primitives: arc, circle, ellipse, line, point, quad, rect, square, triangle. So let's take one that we haven't tried before. How about circle? First thing I could do is I could just copy this code right here and paste it into processing. There's my
Max
circle.
would let me do that too,
Now,
and that's awesome too. That is so good to see.
certainly, I want to.
I'm gonna add this to my file just to see for now. 640, 360. I gotta remember that. Size 640, 360. That should just make the window, yeah, right. And yeah, let's go down. Let's try something different than what he's doing. Where's 2D primitives? There they are. So we did circle. Let's do quad. Why not? Copy. Oh, well, copy button. Awesome. Oh, it came with the size already stated. Cool. Yeah, there it is. Lines right up. Cool. Yeah, I guess I'll go back to the tutorial then.
Scroll down and see what are the arguments and what do they mean. But I could also just play around with the numbers. Like, what if I change 220 to 100? The circle's smaller. So that must have to do with the size of the circle. What if I change 224 to 500? The circle is further to the right. That must be the X location of the circle. And in fact, if I scroll down, we can see the circle function, or as I'm referring to it now, command, takes 3 arguments: an X location, a Y location, and this is kind of a technical coding term here, extent. Extent is a generic term for size, but as you're going to see with the circle, if this is my circle at this particular
SA extent is a generic word for size.
XY location, a way of measuring the size of the circle, it could be radius. Radius is the distance from the center to the edge of the circle, but processing is actually using the diameter of the circle. So the extent is how wide is the circle? What is the, a circle is uniform, so the width and the height are the same. Essentially, the arguments for circle are X, Y, and diameter. Let's go.
Yeah, go back to that. Arguments for circle are circle X, Y, diameter. Believe, right? Yeah.
Y and diameter.
Right.
Let's go back to 2D primitives and let's try square. Let's take this example square, copy it into our code, run it, and there's that square. Now, interestingly, let's think about this for a second. Just imagine this window is 640 by 360. The circle is at X 500, Y 184. Let's do.
Sorry, I think I just heard my dishwasher go off. I'll be right back. It should only take a minute. I set a timer on my phone so I could take the dishes out. If you take them out too soon, they get streaks on them. That's the word. So, anyways, sorry about that, but we're back.
Something to make things a bit more uniform. Let's put them both at 180 and let's have them both be the same size. Only the circle is at pixel 500 and the square is at pixel 100. Well, I'm expecting to see this. If this is approximately x pixel 100 and this is approximately x pixel 500 and this is 180, we know the circle appeared here. So I would expect to see the square here. Let's go see what we get. Huh? Kind of doesn't look like what I just drew. Instead, it looks like this. Well, every shape has a reference point. For a circle, the reference point is these.
I'll write that down there. Every shape has a reference point.
Of the circle. For a square, the reference point is the top left of the square. If I had just read the documentation page, it would explain that. By default, the first two parameters set the location of the upper left corner. The third sets the width and height. The way these parameters are interpreted, however, may be changed with the rect mode function. Scrolling down, we can see, yes, the syntax for the square is x, y, extent, and related rect for rectangle and rect mode. There's a lot of information about all the possible ways you could draw a square or rectangle, but I just want to talk about corner versus center. And the default mode that we just drew is corner because the reference point is the top left corner. But if I want the reference point to be the center, all I need to do is change the rect mode to rect mode center.
Sorry, I gotta write this down. In order to change reference point, use rect mode center, all caps. Yeah, let me go back to that. I'm curious. So circle. Wait, what? Where do you get all that?
To do is change the rect mode to rect mode center. To left corner, through is corner.
Oh, I went to rect mode. Where's rect mode? Or rect mode. Oh, it searches Google. Okay, guess that works. Guess it got us to where we want to be. Reference. Actually, let me just make a new link because I don't like how links show up there. Just leave it there. And add a little arrow. There we go. Cool. It's coming together, I think.
The reference point is the top left corner. But if I want the reference point to be the center, all I need to do is change the rect mode to rect mode center. I want to put this line of code before I draw the square, and the order is really important. I'm going to get back to that in a minute.
Write that down. Right in rect mode center before square function call. Not after. Order is important.
And now we can see I have my square centered at 100, 180, and my circle centered at 500, 180. Just for fun, let's put that line between those two, connecting them. 100, 180 to 500, 180. And there we go. Look at this drawing I made. If you're following along, I think this might be the first drawing you've ever made with code. Congratulations.
I haven't been following along, but I should. I mean, I have, but I haven't been typing out every single thing. So let's do it. So size 640, 3060, semicolon, line 100, 180, 500, 180. I'm gonna run it twice, once with and once without rect mode. Circle 500, 180, 100, semicolon. That's a comma. That's still a comma. There we go. What? Oh, there we go. Rect. Oh, without rect mode. So square 100, 180. Cool, that should work. It says syntax, but I think it'll still work. What? Oh, because I used a period there instead of a comma. We'll run it. Cool, so yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's see, top left. But the top in general is where it is. First time chat from Elemental Magic's card game. Welcome, how goes it? Good, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. We're working in processing right now. I have a link to the coding train in the chat, but I'll put that back in for y'all. This is the tutorial we're watching here. Pretty good. Cool. Glad to hear it. Good. Yeah, thanks for joining. Hope this is interesting. You know, we're just I just work through projects on these streams. Mostly art and design stuff, but also creative coding. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now, is creative coding. Then we're going to dive into game design later on. So yeah, thank you for joining and glad to hear you're doing well. Glad to hear it. And here's the link again. So cool. So we ran this. The line is at the top of the square, and now we're going to put in, here, let me move that over. Put in rect mode center semicolon. Oh, the center's blue. That's interesting. Processing is not too tight for not too bad for prototyping. Oh, cool. Do you have experience with it? You know, I'm brand new to processing. I have a little bit of experience in P5.js. It's similar to other graphics frameworks as well. Cool. Very cool. Yeah. I've really only ever used P5.js processing. Yes, cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, if you have any tips, any recommendations, let me know. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, you probably are familiar with the coding train. Then if you use P5.js or processing, I feel like he's so famous in these communities too. But yeah, he's the person we're learning from right now. So yeah, I'll run the sketch again with rect mode center. And yep, there it goes. It puts it right in the center there. Ultimately, probably you shouldn't be using processing if you're doing more advanced work, but a lot of logic probably transfers, so no harm in learning this. Yeah, no, that's why I'm learning it, is mostly so it can transfer to other stuff I make later. Yeah, I realize it's not, or I've heard as well that it's not quite as advanced as just using Java or JavaScript. But, you know, I think it's a good starting point for me because of the logic, like you said, but more importantly, I was going to work through the Harvard CS50 computer science class online. It's a free course online. And it just, I felt like it would be too long until I started making things I was really excited about. You know, I feel like running through processing, my background is completely in art. So working through processing pushes me towards creating things that I'm more excited about a lot more quickly, if that makes sense. So yeah, then I can start making more things with processing while I'm learning it too. Because my overall goal is to jump into Godot, but they recommended having a little bit of programming experience in their tutorial. So that's why I'm kind of going back, learning processing first. And I read online that processing is object-oriented programming like Godot's GD script. So hopefully it's helpful for me to learn this. Have you made fractals in processing? No, I'm super new. Like as of the last couple of streams, I stream for about an hour every day at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, and this is my third or fourth, I think third stream working in processing, and we're going a little bit slowly, but it's going well. First lesson, we made a square. Yay. And then we made we didn't make a square, we made a line, and then today we're actually starting to draw shapes and use references from the processing.org website as today's lesson. I recently made some procedurally generated fruit trees in tree3.js just in code, basically taking fractals and extending the idea to make it more realistic, and then also making it 3D. Cool, very cool. You can get decent stuff with just fractals in 2D though. That's awesome. Well, I'm happy to hear that. That totally makes sense. And I feel like the wonderful part about creative coding is you can duplicate things so quickly and make really exciting work because of that. Pretty quickly. So yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that. That's awesome. Very cool, very cool. I'm gonna look up 3.js here. Let me see. If you're into art, I recommend looking into that because the logic is pretty basic. Cool, thank you. No, I'm happy to hear that. That's a great recommendation. Thank you. I assume it's use JavaScript, the JS, yeah, JavaScript. Cool. And I'll put this in so I keep a free form board every day of all my notes from streams, so I'm gonna write that down here. I'll say recommendation from chat about drawing with code. Awesome. Do the same logic in processing, so let me give you some math. You can give me the math, but I'm going to continue with the coding train just for now. Matrix multiplication is non-commutative. I'll be honest, you're getting way ahead of where I currently am. I'm not sure what that means here. Matrix multiplication equals linear transforms, like rotation. Got it. So this means the order that you rotate matters. Got you. Gotta close out this for now and go back to coding train. Well, in two dimensions, the order you rotate does not matter. I think I'm following. I think I need a little bit more experience under my belt to fully visualize what exactly you're saying. I think I understand, but... So in 2 dimensions, you have an unordered list of rotations. In 3 dimensions, an ordered one. It makes it more difficult. I assume you're saying it makes it more difficult once you're working in 3D space. But yeah, definitely starting out with 2D here for now. 3D is harder, yes, yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense. That seems to be true for a lot of things with graphics and programming and such. 2D is easier, just need to ask how much you are rotated. Got you, cool. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Thank you again for all this. This is interesting. In 3D, there's this whole nonsense about world space, local space relative to parent element, etc. Got you, yeah. Again, another thing that's those words are world space and local space are already over my head. You'll see graphics libraries that do 3D have tons of functions clogging up the API about the details of this quaternions. I think I'm saying that correctly. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Got you. Yeah, I will definitely be sticking to 3D for now. 2D for now. Eventually I'll get into 3D. Quaternation. Got you. Quaternation. Got you. Thank you. Quaternation. Cool. But yeah, I'll jump back into this for now. But yeah, super interesting stuff. Said like quaternion. Got you. Yeah, I got you. Quaternation. Quaternion. Sorry, I'm saying it just like you said it the second time. Quaternion. Sorry, I'm trying my best. Need some practice with that, but anyways, I'll practice my pronunciation with it again once I get to that point in my programming experience. But yeah, back to drawing squares and circles. Yeah, basically 2D, let the math be easy. Got you.
This is very exciting. Let me show you an important detail. I'm going to take this line of code, which draws the line, and I'm going to just change.
That's more limited, of course. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I also feel like some really exciting stuff can be made from those limitations too, though I don't think there's anything wrong with that myself.
Think about, what is the difference going to be? Nope. The line is now on top. Did you catch that? Processing is...
Oh. So, what did he change? Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Oh, he just moved lines, so I'll copy and paste and do the same. Say, order is very important in processing and determines the order in which things appear. Basically, if you have a draw command come later, it overwrites the entire canvas, including what commands before it did. Gotcha.
Following the lines of code you are writing in order and layering the shapes on top of each other. Now, there is such a thing as transparency and color, and I'm going to get into all of that, but that's a very important detail for you to explore right now. If I want to design a particular pattern, what needs to come first and what needs to come second, what needs to come last in order for me to execute that particular pattern. So this is a great stopping point for now. My assignment to you, this video is going to keep going, so you can just keep watching if you want, but you could
get to work on assignment. I like that. So assignment from Dan, let's write it down.
Pause right now and create your own design. Maybe make a self-portrait, a little alien, some kind of spaceship, some kind of abstract design.
I kind of remember this from when I was first trying to learn P5JS years ago with his tutorials.
Perhaps, can you design something only with lines, points, circles, and squares? Or maybe you're feeling a little...
Only use lines, points, circles, and squares.
Ambitious. Do you want to try one of these other shapes that is listed under 2D primitive?
If I'll just say can try other shapes listed under 2D primitives. By the way, my fruit trees also used only basic shapes. Cool, very cool. Yeah, I like making exciting things out of those kinds of limitations. That plus a ton of math to make them all fit together as well. Got you. Oh, that makes sense.
A rectangle, for example, is just like the square, only we have an extra argument. Instead of one argument for the width and height, we have an argument for the width and the height separately. A triangle is 3 points. A quad is 4 points. Probably the most difficult one on here is arc. So I'll come back to that at a separate point to look at it specifically, but see what you can.
I have to double click here. What? Why isn't it letting me type still? There we go. Arc is the most difficult shape to learn. So we'll come back to that in the future. Only use circle. You didn't see my instant message. Sorry, I'm just seeing it now. Only use circles. But I said you can only use circles. No, I see it. I see it here. See, I forgot to show you. This is your first time joining these streams, so welcome. Hello. But yeah, no, I forgot to tell you I'm using a new stream software. It took you so long. Sorry, I was focused. I was very focused. But I think I told you I'm using a new stream software, but what it does is it let me instead of chats just appearing, I can see all of my chats across Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube all in one sort of comments and reactions bar. I would show you on stream, but it doesn't let me because it hides the software itself. But I can choose what messages show up on the stream like this. Yeah, across Instagram and Twitch. Okay, I see it now that I'm on Twitch. That's cool. Thank you. Arcs don't. Oh yeah, no. But when you saw me on Instagram, you probably didn't see that I was focused, so focused on what I was doing. So I missed it too, really. Arcs don't generalize well because GPUs love triangles. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder why that is. I'm sure you know why that is, but interesting. Computationally intensive drawings should be built out of line segments as much as possible, in my opinion, but some arcs I find interesting. Huh. So I assume lines will just save on computer power over arcs then, right? I assume that's the case. Yeah, again, Sarah, thank you for stopping by. Happy to have you in chat as always. One of my moderators back. I'll refer to you as my moderator from now on in public. Happy to catch the tail ends of stream after work. Thank you. Happy you caught it too. Yeah, we probably will wrap up pretty soon. I'm just getting to the end of Daniel's video, or the section of his video here. I'll call it the processing reference. I also haven't told you in person, but right now I'm working through, while getting ready to do some game design stuff, I'm working through a software called Processing. Here's the link to the processing site. I'll put that in chat. But yeah, it's similar to P5.js, which is what I used in college for some projects. But I figured learning this would be really good and helpful towards learning Godot, the game engine I want to learn, because it has a similar style of programming. And this, I don't know, I love the coding train. He's great for his processing tutorials and stuff. So that's why we're working through his stuff right now. I'll put a link to that again in the chat right now too. Where were we in the chat? The reason is because GPUs do linear math. You can interpolate the color on a line segment with a linear affine, hope I'm saying that correctly, function given the value for its endpoints. Huh. Interesting. Turns out linearity is fundamentally equivalent to parallelizability, which translates to the GPU being able to do a ton of computation quickly. Got you. I'll be honest, that's another. These are more things where I'll need some more programming experience under my belt to fully understand you here, but hopefully that's in the near future. Linear function is defined by the property fx plus y equals fx fy. This means fx plus fy. This means we can perform f on inputs x, y separately in parallel. This is why GPUs are separate from the CPU. Interesting. I think I understand that separate part, but I'm not quite sure how why that explains GPUs being separate from CPUs. But again, I no wrongdoing on your part. Again, it's fully my programming experience here. But yeah, thanks for sharing those. Still super interesting. I think it's good for me to hear these things as I'm working to kind of start to digest it all. But yeah, cool. So yeah, let's finish up the video here, and then we'll start to wrap up stream.
Create.
Oh, there it is. Cool. So next one's called saving your code. Cool. So I would start in my assignment from him this week, but I think I'll save that for tomorrow. Sorry, I keep saying this week. I guess that's how he kind of frames the course, but for me, it'll be today. So I'll make that the starting point for tomorrow. So before wrapping up, I'm going to start writing the agenda for tomorrow's stream here. That here, put this link here about references. Make this text a little bit smaller here. There. Cool. So what we did today, we recapped last stream. We follow along with what was today called? The processing reference. Then we made an agenda for tomorrow's stream. Yeah, that's about it. And then let me see here. So my assignment from Dan Schiffman this week is to create my own design. Only use lines, points, circles, and squares. Can try other shapes listed under 2D primitives. Arc is the most difficult shape to learn, so we'll come back to that in the future. I'll leave that part out. Add that as its own bullet point. And yeah, I'll make that the first thing. Complete assignment from Dan. Create my own design. And then I already read it out, so I won't do that again. Actually, let me go back. And then after that, we'll begin the chapter on saving your code in Learn Processing, and then we'll make an agenda for the next stream. And oh, and this still says Mondays, so I need to change that to Tuesdays. Stream August 20th. Wow, we're already in the 20th of August. Cool. I haven't shown you this yet, Sarah, but this is how I format my streams now. I start and end stream with discussing last stream, preparing for the next stream, and I do it all in these boards. So I create one of these each stream. You can see it's what my one for the first stream looked like, where I just kind of talked about tools and stuff that I want to use. Second one, when I started to kind of develop this format that I have now, which kind of just accidentally happened over time. You know, I didn't go into streaming expecting to do this format, but it's been helpful, organized. Thank you. I try. I find it's helpful to just keep track of my progress and everything, and make sure my next stream I'll get right into whatever it is I want to work on. So yeah, this is what some of the old boards look like. You can see as they go on, I get more and more text in them. I take more and more notes. I've been taking notes kind of like I'm taking a class, because I kind of am with this processing course here. But yeah, they cover everything what we did today. Yes, we followed processing reference. What to do off stream, that's from last week, but I'll just leave that there as a note to myself. I really need to decide on final time for my Sunday streams, just so I can stick to the same time every week. Finish updating Nightbot for YouTube. I have Nightbot for Twitch, but not Nightbot for YouTube. Is Nightbot working right now? I feel like the occasional commands in Nightbot aren't working. No, sorry, not commands. The occasional timers of Nightbot's messages isn't working right now. I haven't seen any of the stream, but it looks like commands are working with exclamation point. But yeah, that's about it. Tomorrow we are going to work on Dan's assignment, which I'm actually really excited to work on stream, and then begin the next chapter of the tutorial on processing. So cool. Yeah, thanks again, everyone. Hope it was interesting as always. Hope you got some work done on your ends while working along to my stream. I will be live again tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you're not already following on Twitch or subscribed on YouTube, please do so you know when I go live. You'll get a notification that I am back on these platforms tomorrow at 5:30. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for joining. Bye. Also, if you're on Twitch, stick around for the raid. I'll be raiding someone in just a moment over on Twitch. So again, if you're watching on Twitch, stick around. Thank you all.